Remember, we got no history.
What?
Or we have no like round the sun.
We don't know each other. We got no.
Oh,
history.
okay. I thought. Yeah, I was like,
I don't know you. You don't. It sounded like you like the cops are pulling us over.
Yeah,
like,
I thought you were trying to like set up like a alibi for us right now.
Yeah, we got no history. We don't know each other.
You don't know me. You don't know nothing.
Yeah.
If anyone asks,
you
we
keep
never
your mouth
met.
shut. Yeah, you just met me. My name's Tim.
I feel like, who do you feel like you know the least out of all of us, Marvin?
Know the least?
Yeah.
I mean, I technically know Ricardo the least. I just have known
feels
him.
like a pretty obvious like.
No, it's not
I've
obvious.
known him the least amount of time. So.
Yeah.
Well, time doesn't equal like knowledge. All
Well,
the
also,
time.
I live with the same house with you, and Dan I've known for more than half of my life.
I
also
got
lived
another
with
question.
him.
Yeah.
And they killed somebody with Dan.
Okay,
Yeah.
who do you
Allegedly.
know? Who do you think knows you better, Dan or me?
You at this point.
That's a loaded question.
No, it's
Yeah,
not
it's a
loaded.
loaded question.
But at this point, it would be you.
This is
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well,
I don't
you-
like
you
this
live with
line of
me.
questioning.
Yeah.
So
but
there's things you are privy to.
If
that,
I
Dan's
died,
also your
if I
friend.
died and I was in a coma, would you date somebody else? If
I
I
hope
died,
you
how many
would.
years until you would date somebody? This is where it's leading.
I hope you would. I mean,
oh well,
I'm in
okay.
a coma.
Well, if I went into a coma, what I would say is date someone else, but take care of me, please. Like, don't just like throw me away. You know,
Yeah.
like make sure I'm
But
still
what if we-
alive.
What if
You don't know the
weekend?
difference.
What if we weekend at Bernie's you?
But while I'm still in the coma.
Yeah. We'll just take the machine that breathes for you. We'll just take
Yeah,
it.
yeah. So
Put it in your
you
butt.
know.
This reminds me of Silent Hill 2.
Imagine some other guy cuddling your cats. That's probably the most like offensive thing I can think of.
Oh, they would
No,
never go for the other guy. Though.
Yeah, I think
know.
I think if somebody was messing with Marvin's keyboards, he'd get really. He's like, God damn.
It's like,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they don't.
don't
They
touch
don't know
my
how to.
keyboard.
They don't know how to stroke her keys the right way. You know?
Yeah. He's like, did you lubricate these keys properly?
Oh my god.
I have thankfully never gotten into the craziness that is individually taking apart every key switch and lubricating it and then putting it back together.
Yeah.
So
dude.
I've never done shit like that.
you draw the line at lubricating.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
have to have.
Now we know.
There has to be
Yeah.
a line somewhere.
The
Now we
board
feel
must
like we-
remain dry.
Yeah, dude.
Your keyboard is now dry.
Yeah, that was what I was going for. Good pickup.
All right. Well, let's go into this TNG episode that starts off with the DS9 episode. So
That actually didn't need to take place on DS9.
No, actually, this is the best crossover like scenario.
What?
Yeah, because like because I hate when it's like, oh, what a coincidence, like that they showed up. I hate that. This was so random and so like they weren't like, oh my god, you're guys Bashir. I've heard
You're
you.
Cisco. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
That's crazy.
You have a totally different outlook.
Didn't you have that band where you sang about a thong song? No one.
Was that
like,
you? Was that you?
No one.
You're the thong
ever-
song guy?
Yeah.
Oh man.
I
What are
like
you
that we
doing
didn't
here?
see Cisco. We didn't see Miles O'Brien.
Kira.
I love it.
Yeah, they
Oh.
only
We don't
show
see
Bashir.
anybody.
Bashir's the
Yeah.
only cast member that hopped on over.
Which
But
is
this whole situation
so
reminds me very
random.
distinctly of something else that happened 2 years later,
Oh well.
which is A Star Is Burns.
Oh, wait a minute. Yes, right. With the
Yeah, it was
With
a
the
Simpsons
critic.
episode where Jay Sherman, the critic from another show, showed up as kind of a promotion for his show that was moving to Fox after tanking on ABC.
I remember thinking the critic looked uglier than the
It did.
The-
It was kind of weird because he had to turn yellow for that one
Yeah.
episode.
but I meant that the show the critic looked uglier than the Jay Sherman on The Simpsons.
It did have a different like visual style for sure.
Yeah,
so
it was more
kind of
pencil-y.
odd that it was a crossover at all.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just because
It's because James L. Brooks was the exec producer on both, and
Yeah,
Matt
yeah.
Groening famously hated the crossover to the point that he removed his credits from the episode.
yeah, I mean it was fine. I mean, I don't see why he had such a
Yeah, Matt
stick up
was
his
a
butt
little
about it.
too precious about it, but you know, it's a great episode. Honestly,
he only wanted an Ernest Goes to the Simpsons crossover.
And then
Ernest
later
goes
they
to
did
Simpsons.
Futurama,
Yeah.
and then Family Guy even.
Yeah,
They did it all.
King
Yeah,
Hill?
I wish.
Not an official like full on crossover King of the Hill. They did cameo in for like a single gag though.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the Simpsons were in the background of a football game, and then
vice versa.
The Hills, the Hill Gang,
The Sugar Hill Gang.
Yeah, that sweet bunch.
Hell yeah.
We watched Birthright Part 1 this week. Which is kind of a weird feeling because you start off by seeing Deep Space Nine in full HD. If you're watching the Blu-ray
so
version,
clean and
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Holy
Oh,
shit!
it's so weird to see that like that.
and then you see Julian Bashir in HD as well, and you're like,
Yeah.
"Where's everyone else in HD?" And they never show up. You know, 'cause-
Too bad.
Can I
Yeah.
tell you that my biggest disappointment from this episode as a
Oh.
teaser? My biggest disappointment is that when Bashir was questioning Data,
Mhm.
he didn't go fucking weird on him. Like he'd been like, I have a question.
Oh.
The dick, does it work? Does it? I wanted him to go.
Well,
like,
they answered that
pervert.
in episode 2.
I know,
Yeah,
but
he's
like
fully
Bashir
functional.
doesn't know. Bashir doesn't know.
Yeah.
Dude. Bashir
Like
needs to know.
Tasha was the first person to ask him that.
I know,
Wow.
but Bashir needs to get crazy. He's like,
I feel like give him
the
a
butthole.
little bit
Does
of
it have
time.
spokes?
He would have gotten
Spokes?
there.
Well,
Did you
the
say spokes for a butthole.
Yeah. Well, the original person who was supposed to cross over
Dan
from Deep
got it.
Space
Dan got
Nine
it.
was supposed to be Dax, actually. So I feel like if it was Dax would have asked. Dax would have been like, "So, do you have all the merchandise down there? You know,
Yeah.
because she's
Yeah.
down.
The spokes, are they full?
Yeah, she's down
Yeah,
a party. So
Oh my god.
But-
Dude, we're
Yeah.
gonna get demonetized over this one, I think.
no, it's
I'm not sure you remember what spokes are.
No, I know what spokes are, but I know what spokes
well,
Well, okay. Some industrious fan artist, please render spokes somehow being
With data.
part of the structure of
Data's
a butthole.
yeah. But Birthright itself first aired on February
Marvin desperately
22nd
trying to move on.
Yeah, no, we're not gonna
of
move on, dude.
1993, but we don't have it around the sun because it was too close. What we do have are our sponsors, and let's just get into that.
They are not spokes, but bespoke wallets, dude.
Yeah, thank you for
Bespoke.
pointing out the bespoke wallets from Extra.
Right?
Because look, not only do they have those great wallets, but they did an upgrade of their new key case. It's now made out of metal, which I think is really cool.
Hell
So you have
yeah.
a metal key case now.
If you like Metallica, you're gonna love this fucking key.
Well, yeah, you can head on over to extra.com, ekster.com, and they have a bunch of things. They do have, their famous card holder wallets, with the pop-up buttons, which are super nice.
Yeah.
And also a variety of other things for everyday carry, such as those key cases. They have those tool cards. You have backpacks of all sorts, duffel bags, etc. There's a lot of stuff to check out that is just an interesting variety of things for people who are on the go, living an active lifestyle, need to pull out their cards with one quick swoop from their pocket without having to fuss around like some other wallets, if you know what I mean. And I think you do. So,
Oh, yeah.
so head on over to ekster.com. That's ekster.com and use our offer code Newbie. That's NEWBIE. And you can get an additional discount on any order you'd make site wide. And we say additional discount because that amount of discount will scale depending upon whatever ongoing sales there are. Speaking of which, holidays are coming up. It's a good idea to get your shopping in early, get it out of the way. And, you can check out all the stuff they have safely because you have a 24-month warranty in all of their products. Free returns within 100 days of receiving your order and just completely free shipping. Just don't even worry about it. So again, you can head on over to ekster.com. That's ekster.com and use our offer code Newbie, NEWBIE. And you get an additional discount off of any order site-wide, even if there's ongoing sales. It'll just stack right on top.
Stacks and stacks.
Yeah.
I'll say this. I want to say this about the wallets, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Look, we love that you guys are buying wallets, dude. We love that you guys are modding them.
Oh,
that
yeah,
you're putting
they were there.
fucking condom fucking dispensers in the fucking wallets.
They have been modded.
Yeah. We should start a modding community for extra wallets, dude. But
Probably
like,
exists.
I mean,
Yeah, probably
one of the ideas we had was to illegally modify it into a switchblade.
that's badass. Yeah. But
Did you
Really?
ever discuss that on the podcast?
Did we? Oh, well, we did
I don't
now.
I think it was only on fair, but now it's in the public eye. Allegedly, you can mod it to have a switchblade.
all switchblades go come out. So
It's
No,
not
let's
legal if it
say-
doesn't exist.
Yeah,
yeah.
allegedly.
yeah.
Now, I wanted to say this.
Mhm.
Look, we love that you guys are buying wallets, and it's great. But look, they're gonna have a Black Friday sale. We know this for a fact.
Mhm.
Save the code. Look, we look. We love the fucking kickbacks that we're getting. But if you want to get the best bang for your buck, to be honest, wait for fucking Black Friday. Let those babies stack up.
Mhm.
You're gonna have a huge, deep discount,
Mhm.
a bespoke discount, if you will. It's a gourmet discount, as one of my friends' moms would say.
That's
Everything
so
was gourmet.
weird.
Yeah,
Really?
everything would be gourmet. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's so annoying.
Yeah. It's an old coworker of ours, mom. But anything, it's a gourmet fucking discount. You're gonna love it. It's gonna be deep, and I think you want to get that done because look, you may not have it like a specific gift. Like you're like, okay, I'm gonna get this wallet for. You don't have to think about it because you're gonna forget somebody's gift for Christmas, whether it's your boss. If you have that type of relationship with your boss, or like one of those. What are they called when you bring a gift? White elephant? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Blind
And you're-
elephant?
Wine
Well, it
elephant?
depends on what kind of thing you're talking about. White elephant is a very specific thing.
Where like
Just-
you bring a gift of a value and
Yeah, okay.
everyone pulls out name out of a hat. And
Say you gotta, you want to impress somebody. You at that white elephant thing. You bring one of those babies.
oh wait, no,
boom.
because there's a difference between a white elephant and a secret Santa. This is technically different.
Yeah, see, there's a lot of people that conflate the two these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I prefer
Secret
Secret Santa because white elephant you could steal somebody's gift, right?
Well, and also, if you
That's
go like
so
very
weird.
traditional, like white elephant is supposed to be bringing stuff that you yourself don't want.
Oh, I don't
Right.
like that.
Something
Oh,
that you-
really? Oh.
Right.
I don't like that. Okay,
And Secret Santa is supposed to be
Yeah.
you know who it is
Yeah.
and you're
That
buying
kind
it for
of
that
explains actually the past white elephant things I've been to. Now, Dan, you've cleared up something for me that I've been
person.
wondering.
Well, just a quick fun fact: the white elephant origin is like the story goes that the king of Siam would gift like servants that he hated an actual white elephant to take care of,
Right.
because taking care of a white elephant is actually ruinous to your life.
And you can't
What?
reject it because then the king will be like, "That's very rude. I'm gonna kill you."
like a literal white elephant, like a living,
Yeah.
breathing white elephant.
Well, like it's not like he had a huge stock of them and gave them out
Yeah,
because he hated
yeah.
people. It's just like it was a story.
I don't know. That sounds awesome. Like a white elephant sounds so cool.
In at least
actually.
one case, it's just the fact of having to take care of it is actually really hard, and it will ruin your life.
Think about this. That's
makes it
the best power move. Sarah, if I gifted you a horse and told you you can't sell this thing, you'd be burdened. Do you know how much it costs to board a fucking horse?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Imagine now
I
an
think it would be
elephant
cool though.
for half a month until you went fucking bankrupt.
I mean, just think about having to take care of a few more cats, and then
Yeah.
multiply the
Like,
cats
God.
by like maybe 800
Yeah.
times.
This elephant eats like 800 pounds of food a day. I can't.
Yeah.
Until month 3
Can't-
when you kill the elephant to eat its
I
meat.
can't
'cause
afford
you
it anymore.
Can't afford eating food.
No,
Yeah.
I would love any animal gifted to me. I mean, gifting animals is a tricky thing that
Don't
shouldn't
do
be
it.
done.
Don't
Yeah,
gift
do it.
animals.
Just
it's
don't
real,
do that.
It's a real
Yeah.
hate move.
No one do that.
Yeah.
Don't
Ever.
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like this king. This king
This is
had a real.
This is a PSA. Never gift animals. That is a bad idea.
Unless
Never.
somebody asked for that gift.
Unless it's like maybe like a goldfish or
No,
Unless
like-
you just
no.
offer to
then
pay
they-
for the adoption fees that someone else is already doing.
And then
Yeah,
you're
like-
gonna
Yeah.
kill the goldfish. Like that's still shitty.
No. Like
what
if your-
about a cricket or praying mantis?
if your kid wants a dog and you're like, just wait, and then like, oh, Santa brought it, you can do that. That's fine.
Yeah,
It's your own kid.
gifting pets are
Well, that's
tricky.
the thing though, because then it's like a family decision. But don't like gift like a puppy.
If
to,
you
like-
hate the person you're giving it to, give an animal because like the
No,
king
but
of
then the animal will
of-
die.
what is it? The king of Fallujah,
I think it was Siam.
Siam.
Yeah.
I need
Siam?
to look it up to be sure, but like the story I remember hearing.
So,
was,
Marvin,
was
would you
Siam.
be mad if I gifted you like a kitten?
Well, I mean,
Again, you're basically like family, dude. It doesn't count.
That's different.
Yeah.
Because it's your base. You have literally done a thing where you have sent me a photograph of what do you think of this cat? And I said, she seems cool. And you said, okay, I've already adopted her. So, she's
coming home. And here she is 12 hours later, 12 years later.
Yeah. So, that's already happened before.
Yeah. Baby girl.
But I'm just saying, get this ahead of time. Get it for Black Friday and just save
this.
Don't get the
pet.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna forget a gift.
And you won't regret it.
This thing goes well. It's a wallet that's unisex. They them, dude. It's a they them wallet. You can gift it to a lady friend, a man friend, they them, anything, dude. Anything goes. Your wildest dreams is what's keeping you back, dude. Set it free.
Yeah.
Well, what is also a great value is a good VPN, like ExpressVPN. And one of the values of ExpressVPN is that it's not only super fast, it's also super secure. They have no activity logs or connection logs, which they have proven time and time again after being subpoenaed, after having third-party audits and all that. And like it says, super fast, up to 10 gigabit speeds. Your computer right now, most of you listening right now can't even go that fast. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
It's not even that.
Wow.
Not even good enough,
Yeah.
Those are fighting words.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, and also
you don't have to go that hard, dude.
very accessible. You can use it on up to 8 devices.
Yeah, dude.
Use on up to 8 devices. There's 3,000 plus servers in 160 locations spanning 160 countries. Oh no, 105 countries.
What?
100, but it's 160 locations. And it works on pretty much every device you can think of. If you have a device, there is an app for it. And it works with streaming services correctly. So if you guys would like to check that out, you can head on over to expressvpn.com/newbie Star Trek. And if you sign up for 12 months, they'll give you 3 months for free. And like we had said many times before, a VPN is not a bulletproof measure for internet security, but it's a good part of your overall internet security package. It's just a good thing to have in your back pocket. You're going out in the town, you have to use the public Wi-Fi. You're not sure who's checking you out.
Get it for your parents.
Yeah.
Do me a favor. Get it for your parents or anyone who's a bit older. Who's that guy that got in trouble that recently? Is it North Carolina
Everyone,
guy?
you mean?
who got in trouble for like
non-specific.
using their government email to comment on porn sites? Oh my god.
Oh,
who
well,
was
this
that?
VPN won't save you from that, though. I mean, he was just,
not at all. This is
when you're using
do
your
not buy
email
this to do that, please.
and leaving your email in places.
Oh
that would
my
not have helped
God.
at all.
There's a guy that was running the social media.
Oh, North
for-
Carolina. Yes. Sorry. Yes, it was recent. The North Carolina governor candidate, Mark Robinson, basically he was using he made sexual posts on a porn website.
Sexual posts on a porn site.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But using his real name
God.
and government email and
Self-proclaimed black Nazi, etc., etc.
yeah.
There's a lot there.
So,
You can go look it up if you like.
Yeah.
but yeah, I guess this can't save you from that.
Another
but
one
yeah.
was somebody who was running the Fort Bragg account.
Oh my God.
Was didn't log out of their account before they
Mm.
started commenting on OnlyFans.
Wait,
account.
who? Wait, who?
Somebody who was running the Fort Bragg social media account.
No, are you serious?
So
oh my God.
they started commenting on Instagram posts
Oh my God.
from this OnlyFans model, and then
There you go.
and then they shut it down, and she blew up. She had so many followers. So good on her,
my
dude.
God.
Fort Bragg's fave.
And then they
As
had
seen on Fort Bragg. Instagram history.
Oh my God. That's so bad.
yeah.
But
great.
see, I mean, it's when I see stories like this, it makes me think of oof, okay.
But the VPN won't have helped them. They're just stupid.
Just to be clear, once you're entering email addresses into websites, the VPN won't save you.
No, that's just
It
sheer
won't
stupidity.
save you, but it could maybe
No.
make you a little bit more socially aware.
Nope, it won't at all. It won't, Sarah. Don't say that because you can get in trouble, dude. Don't say that.
It won't have helped at all, but ExpressVPN can additionally help you by having a built-in ad blocker and a built-in keys password manager.
How many times do we hear these stories? Oh
And
my
also,
God.
if you're not sure, it's a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you can always just try it out for 30 days, and if you don't like it, you can just cancel it, get your money back. So again, head on over expressvpn.com/newbie Star Trek, and if you sign up for 12 months, they'll give you 3 months for free.
Maybe ExpressVPN can add a feature where it can like change your
You can't change
email
stupid
or something like that.
It's not about your email. It's about you being logged into Instagram.
Quit trying to invent a world where Mark Robinson got away with it, Sarah.
Damn.
Do we think he's guilty? He says he's not guilty.
I mean,
I think he's
that's the least of his issues.
How about you just don't like just go and fucking Instagram stalk people, but just don't like
comment.
anything. Just
You don't need to comment.
Yeah.
You don't need to like.
No,
You
but
can
they're
just
so hot. You
view.
have to say something. You have to.
Why do you have to say something?
How will they know that they're hot if you don't comment on it?
Because if you don't do anything, then what are the chances that they are going to have sex with you, huh?
Yeah, exactly. You got to let them know. You gotta
Or
shoot
else
your
they
shot.
won't ever know that you exist, and then they won't reach
Yeah.
out to you, and then they won't go to your house, and then they won't,
Just like how Denise Crosby will never talk to you
Ricardo, could you please
Oh, wait, she
tell us
did.
what happened in this episode?
in this episode. She just
Tasha remembers what happens to Data.
Yeah.
Tasha remembers how human Data is.
Oh yeah, dude. All the way.
In fact, she was the first person to ask the questions that Data says Bashir, was unique for asking.
Yeah. So there's a couple storylines going on in this episode, and I'm loving
It's all daddy issues.
all of them.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
That's it. That's fascinating because I am of the opinion that this should not have been a two-parter.
Well, I don't know part 2, but this one's badass, dude.
Okay. All right. So
First
you
of all-
like
first of all,
the
You have fucking Worf going fucking Rambo 2 on him, dude. He's in the jungle, dude.
that's fine.
Yeah, he's like in
that's
Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
And he's like, you gotta rescue those POWs.
He's like
Rambo.
dressed in black.
And he's
You
like,
know, Marvin,
I'm telling you, dude, it's just like Rambo 2. He dresses in black and he takes those arrows with the tips that explode. So I don't know how much fucking explosives fit in the arrow tips because they blow up a whole helicopter. But he does that. He like gets all in black and he's like, I gotta go in there. And then I don't know why the dude from fucking Babe the Pig is in this. Like I don't know why like his
James,
character.
Where is he?
Cromwell.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Cromwell.
Who is he?
He plays Shrek.
Yeah,
I said that, and you.
Shrek is awesome, dude.
Yeah, his name's
He's
literally
Shrek. Yeah.
Yeah.
I said that while
He's
we were
like
watching the
donkey.
episode.
I was joking. It's Shrek. He was playing Shrek.
It was him, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was like,
I
I'm
was
pretty
like, there's
sure
no way
he's
James
Shrek.
Cromwell would play Shrek. Come on.
But he did.
That'll do, pig.
And I like how the reason they cited
do.
was we liked your performance in that one episode with the commandos when you were playing like the mayor. So or the president. So now we'd like to come back as a horrific alien.
Yeah.
So-
Well, I mean, part of the justification was like, well, they won't recognize you because you'll be an ugly alien this time. But also, you're going to be nothing like who you were before.
Yeah.
But they just trusted his chops, I guess.
he had a much larger part in the episode originally, but he got injured during like the forest scenes, so they had to
Oh.
cut his
What?
part short. Yeah.
What did he do to get injured? There was nothing like strenuous. I don't
I think he
Like-
probably tripped over like a root or something, and probably was
Damn.
like, oh well.
He's got prosthetics and then fucking contacts. He's gonna be fucking falling left and right.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's covered in monster skin.
This was, I will say, this is the first episode I noticed Worf's new prosthetic. Even though it's
so he had
happened for
it
a little
since I think Aquil, his ponytail head prosthetic. He had a new hairstyle
Right.
for a little while now.
And the whole prosthetic is definitely new. Like, looks like it's more plasticky and like one piece,
Mhm.
Like I assume it's done for quickness of application, but this was the first episode, maybe because I saw so much FaceTime of Worf, I was just like, his face looks different. Like his prosthetic looks different. And like, I don't know, he just looked different.
Mhm.
So this was the first time I noticed it. I'm not sure I'm a fan, but whatever. It works, I guess.
Well, it's also like a consideration for, I think he had by this point said that like, can we please
Cut down the makeup time?
cut down from like, I think it's like 2 hours,
Oh,
you know,
God.
like.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
You think he had ladies that were like, I want you to do me with the makeup on?
Yo,
I'm sure.
yeah.
I mean,
oh,
right?
yeah.
Because without the
Oh, I'm
makeup,
sure.
Michael Jordan looks very like just like a normal guy. Like you would not know that was Worf, like at
Yeah.
all. Like
A normal guy that you would not want to fuck.
For anyone who wanted that from him, though, like, how would he accomplish it? Like, that's hard.
He'd
you
be
need,
like-
you need
he-
your team.
right after
Today.
work.
Well, no,
just
right
say
after work.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they would know. They would know if he came back from work and he's like, oh, just it's fine. I'm gonna go home. They're like, oh, this guy's gonna fuck. Dude.
Yeah, what if they're like,
I
no,
would-
you leave those prosthetics here. We need those.
yeah. Don't get fucking. Don't
They
get
got
semen on
ruined
them.
last time.
Yeah,
now.
like we're tired of cleaning them off.
Yeah, dude. You know
I
how
mean,
lubricant does
yeah.
not come rub off of that thing, dude. Stop
Yeah.
putting.
Yeah, some of it actually melts this shit.
Yeah.
I want to know, like, part of me, I have like a, what do you call it? Like a invasive thought where like, I want to know like how many times a Star Trek character or actor has been asked to do some kind of like weird Star Trek thing in the bedroom and they did it. I don't know. Like, does Sir Patrick Stewart say like engage, you know?
Oh
Or-
God, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
for sure.
Or, like-
yeah.
Has to.
Make
or
it so.
disengage.
Make it
Disengage.
so,
Disengage.
or- yeah,
If he's
or
like done.
something like
He's
that,
like
you know?
disengage.
Yeah. Or,
Or-
like, you know, I don't know. I'm just curious. It's
Or
an
like,
invasive thought.
You know, how many times has Brent Spiner been told to be like, can you act like Data while you're fucking me?
Oh
my
And
God.
like, you know,
And he's like,
oh
all right.
no, and then he like goes overboard. He's like, oh no, I am about to climax.
Well, how many times has that porn star parody
Oh
guy
my
been
God.
asked to act more like Data?
That
Right,
guy
yeah.
is so good.
He was the guy who
man.
pioneered the acting for it, probably.
it's true. Yeah.
How did
Oh,
that?
man.
How did that
He's
guy
good.
find us? That
Oh,
homie?
you just saw the short and you
Oh,
just
really?
commented. Yeah.
nice.
Or like how many times has LeVar Burton been asked to put on the visor?
Okay,
Yeah.
that one's doable. That
Yeah.
one's easy.
Yeah.
That one's easy, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he lucked out.
Yeah.
I think they even gave him one of the visors, like the first season one,
Really?
so he could just be wearing
he
the
could just be
first season.
fucking?
One. Yeah, yeah.
Because he was fucking so much, so they're like, here, get this. This one.
Well,
This
they
one's, this one's-
technically
this one
up-
you can use lubricant on this bad boy.
They technically updated it in the second season, I think, because the first season it was like so covered he legitimately could not see as an actor through it. So the second
Oh
season
my
when they made the
God.
slats more like visible, so you
Yeah.
can actually see what's going on.
So in this episode, there's a couple things going on. So they have to go.
It's a
to-
lot
to
going
the-
on.
They have to go to the Deep Space Nine station because they have to fix the aqueducts. I don't know why. Like, here's the thing. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Can't they just replicate water?
No, not a Major
What are you
or
talking about?
Bajor in
Why not?
Bajor because they need their traditional aqueducts.
But why? But in general, can they replicate water?
Because it's it's their religion will let them. I don't know.
I know. But I'm saying I'm just asking like a regular Star Trek question in general. In any
yeah.
of the,
Yeah.
in
I
any
mean,
of the
it's
starships,
It's
they could just
implied
replicate
that
water.
it's not a difficult thing to replicate because in the first season, in the first episode, TNG actually, when they first go into the holodeck,
Yeah.
it's
it's
like
they're swimming, aren't they?
It's a river simulation. Yeah.
Also,
So-
the replicator can make
Yeah.
food.
Yeah.
yeah,
drinks.
which is full of water.
Yeah, So okay, so it can make water. Okay, now question: do you think when they're replicating water, that some of the crew members are like, ew, this is Aquafina. Tastes like shit,
Well,
dude.
I think they might, depending on because this episode actually brings up the possibility of different replicators having different quality.
Yeah.
So
Right. Yeah.
Well, because
What?
Geordi and Worf are hanging out eating lunch
yeah,
or dinner. I don't know what time it is. It's hard to
Yeah.
tell with these fucking days. And Geordi's like excited. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna eat these giblets or whatever he's eating." And then he's like, "Oh fuck, this sucks, dude. This
pasta
Yeah.
alfiorella.
Oh, that's
I've
what it is.
I've
Yeah.
never heard of that. Yeah.
Have you guys ever eaten pickled pork skin? Fucking delicious, dude.
Pickled
Yeah,
pork
that's okay.
skin. No,
Yeah.
I have not.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
good, dude. Put some fucking tapatio on it, and it is good. It's a good little snack, you know. Protein.
That's all right. Yeah.
Marvin, You don't know anything about pickled pork skin, dude. The best way is to put tapatio in it. Tapatio?
Is it cooked? Do you cook?
It's pickled. It's pickled.
Yeah.
Oh, does pickling cook it? I guess. I don't know.
It's pickled.
Yeah, it's essentially edible.
Yeah.
because of the pickling.
What do you mean?
The thing is,
Have you not eaten a pickle?
well, the thing is, as soon as I get pork skin, I'd rather have it fried.
cooked?
You know.
I'll
Depends
go
on
with
the
crispy
pickle.
pork skin.
Here's the thing
Yeah.
about pig. Any way you have it is the right way to have it, dude.
Mm.
Anyway, dude. You want to fry it, deep fry it,
I'm
chicharron.
willing to that.
We're talking about
Bacon?
the guy, the babe
Babe?
guy.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah, he killed
There's
that.
more
babe.
than one way to eat a babe.
Yeah, there's
Well,
more than one way to skin a
Babe's
fucking
so
pig.
Pasta
cute.
al fiorella is usually with fiorella cheese, bacon, and asparagus. So there you go.
Oh, that sounds good. Oh, with the
Oh.
bacon.
All right. So he doesn't like it, and Worf loves his food. He's like, oh, this is delicious.
Delicious.
So a couple
Liquid
things.
polymer.
Yeah, he's like
Ew.
antifreeze, yum. So a couple things happen. A couple storylines. One storyline is that someone approaches Worf, the babe, picking the city guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, hey, I have information about your dad. He's not dead. He's alive.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, no, you're fucking lying. Because he basically, like, even Deanna talks to him eventually to Worf, and he says, why are you so pissed, dude? And he basically, he's like, if he survived and he got captured, that'll bring 69 years of bad luck to my family.
Yeah.
You know? And
it brings like generational dishonor to
even Ricky
the
will, what's his son's name? Ricky?
Ricky. Yeah.
Ricky?
Even Ricky will have will have dishonor.
I wanted a corner cam, like a picture-in-picture of Alexander in the corner throughout this entire episode.
Yeah, just
and
going,
what he's doing.
Yeah. Just playing with matches, you know? in the corner.
Especially when Worf is like, father is a part of you.
Yeah.
Like, and he's getting all important and big about, fatherhood and,
And Alex, it's just you like do like a fucking like split screen, and you see Alex sitting alone in a room in a corner, like
just in a swing. And the one time he mentions Alexander, he kind of looks up a little.
he goes, "Wait,
And then-
my ears are burning." Oh,
Yeah, never mind. Goes back to fucking burning wood chips. And so basically he's like, so Deanna's like, well, if you want to talk about it, let me know. And what if he's still alive? And then basically she straight up says, like, are you pissed because he's still alive? And like basically like that you missed all these years, or the dishonor? What's the worst part?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one are you mad about?
Yeah. And he breaks a glass table, dude. He doesn't give a fuck. He's like, someone will clean this up. Bam.
Like, out of context, it's just a teenager messing around in his room.
yeah.
He's
It's
doing
just a guy
fucking-
doing kung fu moves.
It looked like it reminded me of one of those like LARPing videos of like those people.
Oh
just,
yeah,
like, invisible.
Well,
fighting.
it reminds
His
me
brother
of,
should have been right there to go,
Yeah.
ooh,
Yeah.
right when the glass table broke.
Yeah.
He's doing the thing that Van Damme's doing when he does the splits in Bloodsport.
yeah.
And he's just doing the shit, dude. He's doing the Dimac
And
where he
then-
breaks
breaks a brick on the bottom and nothing happens on the top one.
And Deanna says, "What did the table do to you?" Or something.
Yeah,
like that.
she's like, you know what? The table doesn't hit back. So anyway, you got that going.
Deanna, get out of his business. Don't talk to him.
She asked him, did the table do something wrong? And
Yeah.
my first impulse
That's
was
right.
for Worf to answer back, it got in my way.
yeah.
This
Yeah.
table
Yeah.
had no honor.
Yeah.
Too transparent.
The other storyline is Data. He sees like unauthorized access to like the fucking medical bay or something, and it's fucking
Yeah.
Bashir. Bashir, you have this friend, dude, that it's usually a closer friend that you can tell, like, dude, you're a piece of shit. Stop doing this. But they'll still do it, which is they'll just grab your things and not ask you, and you're like, it's fine. If you ask me, it would be
Right.
perfectly fine. I wouldn't
Right.
mind. But the fact
Right.
that you're not asking me, I'm at a 10 now, dude, and I'm gonna punch you, dude.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And he does that. He's like using medical equipment, and he's like, "Oh," and Data's like, "Are you authorized to be here? Like, only doctors are." And he's like, "Oh, I'm Dr. Bashir. Cool. I'm cool, man." And then he's like, "Oh, and he's like, "Your Data, blah blah." And he gets all excited. He's like, "Oh, dude." But I like that his questions weren't like even Data says, like, his questions were out of the norm, like not questions that people really ask of him, because he was asking
more about
like,
experience than it is about like
it was more about being
yeah.
human, really.
Yeah.
Things that make him human opposed to things that make him an
I
android.
have a problem with that.
Really?
Oh,
Well, I have
you
a
think
problem with
is
that just in the sense that I feel like we have seen enough people otherwise who have already asked him more meaningful questions.
I know, but this
like
guy's
how
new.
much can you lift, and all the stuff that he says. People ask him.
Yeah, but I like that he's like, hey, does your hair grow? Like, what are you
Yeah.
wearing? What are you wearing the cholo hair?
Yes, the important questions.
Is that a hairnet you put on in the night to like slick it back like that? Yeah. Is that
Well,
is that three flowers I'm smelling?
He could have also.
Is that 3 flowers vomit I'm smelling?
He could have also literally have been responding and saying, "Well, no one's literally ever asked me, why do I breathe?" Or
Yeah,
no one's literally ever
and he
asked
was like,
me.
"Oh, you have a pulse." I really
Yeah.
wanted to ask him, like, so like the dick, is it the
Do
same
you take
color?
a shit?
Yeah.
Do you pee? Do you pee?
I think
And he
they were-
he does say like the blood, and I'm sure he pees and he like jizzes and stuff.
yeah.
But he should have said like the dick skin,
Ew.
same as everything else. Or is it
What?
tan?
How does that work?
Do you have
like
pink dick skin?
No.
He wasn't really
it's
asking.
metallic.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wait, is it like I guess it would have some kind of skin.
He should have
on
asked
it.
the foreskin on or off. Like that's really what we want to know. You know
Well,
what I mean?
it depends on the preference. You can take it on or off. You can just,
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
it's like a little like it like clicks off.
yeah, it's like a little notch.
You can
Yeah.
choose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh, that's awesome.
Technology. Interesting.
It's a way
Can
the future.
you like choose? Is it like pick your own size type thing or?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, and I'm sure if you
Okay.
want it to be a hole instead, you can also do that too. I mean,
Wow.
he is fully functional. He is fully functional.
So
Is it modular? Do you have to swap it out?
I think so. I mean, like his arms, right? His arms
Really,
pop right
all
off,
the questions
right?
we
True,
have
true,
for
yeah.
him. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know what's so funny is that bitch ass fucking what's his face?
Wesley?
No,
Because that's usually the name
Yeah, that's
followed
usually
by
how you
bitch
start.
ass.
No, the real life Wesley. Elon Musk?
Oh, Elon Musk.
Carlos
Oh.
Musk?
Elon.
Whatever his name is.
Yeah.
What does Trump call him?
Elon.
No, he called him something else. He
Like
called him something else.
Elian Musk.
Oh my god.
Elian Gonzalez. That's what he
Elian
called him.
Gonzalez.
Musk is all
So
Yeah.
he just unveiled those robots, right?
Right.
And people
Oh my
started doing
God.
the memes online, like and there's like
So
a
good.
Hispanic Instagram that are putting all these memes, and it's like he's like the robot looking at me when I and he starts questioning why I'm putting my keys in my nose and snorting white stuff. That would kill me for some reason. Just like people doing like horrible activities, and your robot just witnessing, like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Another
my
one was
God.
a Hispanic lady fucking just yelling, and he's like, the first day the robot shows up to my Hispanic household.
Yeah, the robots were just
So
basically like pre-existing like standing technology robots, just remote controlled by humans.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Someone
it was
point blank
fake.
asked the robot, "Are you AI or a human?" And it went, "What do you think?"
I'll never tell.
So stupid. I just
Yeah.
oh.
It's so sad. Like it's just like he's so desperate to,
I'm like
to
how
impress
slow
people.
how slow they were walking. It's like you'd
Yeah.
have to like walk like at a snail's pace to like stay with it. And I'm like, how is this supposed to be efficient in the future?
I mean,
Like,
it's so like
this is so
okay.
stupid.
So the idea of a fully autonomous generalized robot, even if it's that slow, it's fine. Like imagine like you have like let's say in an old folks home, you just need someone to put away dishes for someone. It's doing it really slowly. But
I'd
it's
rather be
doing
able
it.
to outrun my
I'd rather
robot.
just do it. Yeah, I don't understand.
No, but
You guys
like they're-
remember? You guys remember when they released and it was like state of the art, Roboraptor?
No.
I don't remember what that is. What's Roboraptor?
It was a toy that was like a robot velociraptor. People were losing their shit.
No.
No.
And they're like, "Oh my god, this is fucking amazing!" And this guy just made a human version of Roboraptor, dude, where it's just somebody
Oh.
controlling it.
oh my
Well,
god, I've never heard of
I
that.
remember Axel, the robot dog.
Just
that
send it.
yeah,
I remember
told,
Ibo, the Sony dog.
Oh boy.
that told us to send it before
I
self-destructing.
remember Asimo, the Honda
Oh,
bot.
dude, that guy fucks though. The guy's lifting things. That guy's putting in the work, dude. These guys are fucking lazy. They're doing white collar jobs, dude. They're really coming for our jobs, dude.
Yeah.
Like Boston Thermodynamics is gonna, they'll be the ones that have the fully.
They're the Terminators. They're the Terminators.
They have the robots that can dance.
Yeah, these ones can't even dance, dude. They can't even do the fucking.
But there's a good argument though that the way the Boston Dynamics robots are going is probably really stupid. Because if you can design a robot with any form factor, why would you choose a human form factor, which is actually extremely inefficient?
Because then you can watch it dance, and it's funny.
Then eventually you can get to a Gundam.
Yeah, Marvin, you know why, dude? I'll answer your question. It's a very simple answer. Is so we could fuck them.
Yeah, but you can fuck anything though with the whole.
I know, but people want them to look real. We don't want them to look
people
like
fuck just a tube that they order off the internet. Like they'll. It doesn't matter.
Are you talking about pocket pussies?
If we get back to this episode, look, I didn't realize Data is made in the image of his father.
Yeah.
So people want to make things that look like them, or look familiar.
In that case, I think Sung wanted a son. So I think that's sort of why he did it, because he wanted to have
two sons.
Yeah, well, Lore was the failure. That's why he made the second. But then I think it's because he had that whole, I want my posterity to go on, but no woman will have me, so I'll have to make my own robot. And that's sort of
it's the answer to all incel problems.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that sounds horrible.
I don't know if the no woman will have me thing is real. In fact, I think we do see Noonien Sung's ancestors eventually, or our descendants eventually. But
well, anyway, getting back to the episode. So basically, Bashir finds this thing, and they find this old clearly it's a laser.
Just whatever they can't the fuck it is. Yeah.
And here's the thing: when you find something, it's the equivalent of us finding an old, going to the castle and doing some excavation, finding a fucking cannon and going, "Hey Tim, stand in front of it, dude. Tell me if anything happens, dude."
Yeah.
And then just fucking lighting it on fire, dude.
Or you know how in fucking Hot Fuzz they're like, "Oh, we found a naval mine. Let's figure out. Let's just have fun with it and see what happens."
Hey, Tim, bring your hammer, dude. We're gonna hammer this thing.
Let's hook it up to some electrical car batteries and see if it explodes.
So they hook it up, and of course, fucking Data's looking right down the barrel of the fucking thing, and it fucking shocks him. Dude.
Why did they? Okay, the MythBusters put up blast shields and stuff before they
they should have put it in a.
It clearly had a nozzle.
Yeah,
or a barrel of some kind that was pointing.
Do you think? Here's the thing. Do you think Bashir did it on purpose? He's let's see what happens to the robot if I shoot it with this. He knew something was gonna pop up. He's fuck it for science.
Maybe one day we'll get a retcon that allows that to be a thing.
Yeah.
Hopefully. No, right now Bashir is too simple a character to ever have anything that interesting with him.
And so far. So he shoots him, and basically he unlocks some
long story short.
Yeah, he unlocks his dreams. Basically, dream programming.
Yeah, they beat around the bush a lot to what it is.
This one was a weak story. I like the Worf story better, but this is a weak story.
That's the thing. It's what happened is Birthright was originally one story, right? Then Michael Piller, for whatever reason, said, "Hey, let's take a risk. Let's make it a two-parter." But then the writing team was like, "Well, shit, we designed it to be one story. Now we need a B plot. Let's just say Data has dreams, and it's just honestly kind of a bunch of nonsense of just to have, just to say, oh yes, he can dream now. Okay, cool. It's neat that you see Noonien Sung, and it's kind of fun imagery a little bit, but ultimately it's just he can dream. I mean, honestly, the interactions between him and Julian are more interesting than because that's the catalyst to the B story, and that catalyst is more interesting than the actual B story because just the interactions between him and I wish there was more of a interact with Deep Space Nine characters.
Well, we don't know. There's a part 2, so we don't know what's going to happen.
There's a part 2. Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know, dude.
No, this thing's over.
To come in.
This thing with Data is over. It's not coming back.
Don't spoil things for me, dude.
Marvin.
You can't do that, dude.
No, it ends in this episode. They finish it in this episode.
I didn't know that, dude.
Yeah,
I could have dreamed. I could have dreamed a dream like Data and painted a beautiful painting of Bashir
became
and Data.
A bird.
Yeah, fucking a bird. But here's the thing about this.
Right.
At the end, there's a thing that Bashir did that I fucking hated, dude. Which is he's like, oh, He's like, this is interesting. So you're dreaming now? He's like, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
he's like, this would get me fucking published. He's like, I'm gonna write about it. Is that cool? Like if I just steal, like all he did was zap him. Like all he did was like shock him. Like he's like, hey, change this light bulb, and then he fucking shocked him, and then he's now going to take credit for like unlocking. I don't like this dude.
No, yeah, but
it's not even, it's not even real science.
There's nothing to write about.
Slimy for sure.
I don't like that part. I don't care that he's like sexualizing people on the crew. I don't care that he's sexually harassing them. This crossed the line, dude.
This is too far.
You don't fuck with science.
But there's nothing to write about for the journal. Like you can't write a paper about something you watched happen. Like you know, like
or rather something that Data told you happened after, like much later.
Yeah, like that would be a journal or a paper of very little value. You know, you would need to actually have some empirical data or have it be more of a direct account of what Data himself saw. Right now, it's just Julian going, so we activated the machine once, it knocked out the android, and then when the android came back the second time, he said he had dreams. The end. Yep. Like, that's not a paper.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, if anyone should be writing it, should be Data. Yeah. He would be able to give a very detailed firsthand account of everything that occurred.
Or even Geordi. At least Geordi lives with him.
Yeah. But this guy's coming in and taking the credit, dude. I don't like that.
Yeah, it sucks.
But so you have the other storyline, which is Rambo Part 2.
It's not as good because there's not that much. There's not much fighting.
Well, here's the thing: there's not enough fighting, but it brought up two movies that I thought of right away. One was Rambo 2 because he wore the all black and he was in the jungle and he met a lady randomly and he's like, hey, it was a Worfian lady and he's like,
that's why Ricardo liked this episode.
Oh yeah, I thought there was Tapatio hot sauce coming soon. And so she's like, hey, I'm gonna save you. And she's like, I do not need saving. He's like, I'm gonna take you home. And he's like, what are you? I am home.
Right.
And then
she didn't seem in danger at all.
Right. Wait, have we mentioned about like why Worf is here, like on this planet?
He didn't say anything. He didn't say like, oh, I'm here visiting. Like,
well, like the whole reason why Worf is on this planet to begin with is because he's like,
he threatened Babe's owner, and he's like, tell me the fucking truth, dude. And he's like, oh, your dad's in this thing, and he's like, I'm not gonna pay you for this information.
Not only is your dad alive, he was taken into a Romulan prison planet,
POW,
like taken, prison there.
Right. And he says, I can't go. I don't have time. I'm a really busy guy. But he's like, but what do you do? He's like, I got business. We got business.
See, that's the thing.
And he's like, well, what's your business? He's like, I'm currently unemployed, but those are my business people.
They were going to have a whole explanation, and he was supposed to actually have a tragic backstory as a character, Shrek. But he
has a swamp, and he doesn't want people visiting. Yeah, it's a complicated story.
Well, it's because he was bullied and hated by everyone. Yeah. It's a very sad story for him.
But in this episode, they had to cut all that out. Because
and he didn't give him his donkey friend. So basically, he threatens him. He's like, well, you're coming with me. You're going to give me a ride, first of all. And then I like his stupid fucking excuses. Like he's like, I'm way too busy. I can't go. Yeah. He's like, well, I don't have a ship. I don't have it. It's like, you do have a ship. He's like, all right, I have a ship, but like, I'm just busy, dude. And he finally takes him and he's like, hey, I'm going to drop you off. I'll pick you up tomorrow this hour. I would have trusted him, by the way, to come back.
Yeah. I would not trust.
I would have set up a bomb and been like, if you don't come back in the next day, you're going to blow up your ship, dude.
So the thing is, with all of this, what is
he
really
didn't tell
annoying,
anybody. He didn't tell anybody he was going on the secret mission too.
That combined with no one notices Worf is gone. You know, like no one.
Okay, but can we just note in this episode that everybody is doing something else and nobody is working in this episode?
Yeah,
like, everyone's just on their own side quest, doing whatever, fucking around. I'm like, aren't we here working?
Beverly's at a spa, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
but it's expected from Beverly.
I guess Picard is in his room staring at the tiny ass screen.
Yeah, well, he's
learning. He was welcome to invite Data, and he was like, "Well, why don't you paint something? That sounds cool."
Yeah.
Horrible.
And that like was a scene that encapsulated to me the difference between TNG and DS9.
Yeah,
it's like you wouldn't have someone on DS9 come into Cisco's office and be like, "I had a dream, man, and I don't know what to feel about it." No. It's like, maybe you should paint something.
Yeah, whereas Cisco would be like, "Can you fix the fucking replicators? We don't have time to talk about your dreams."
O'Brien.
O'Brien.
and so another movie came to mind with the Worf stuff, which is, have you guys seen that movie Double Team with Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Right.
I thought you said Ovaltine.
No, Double Team. Sorry.
Right.
Is basically Jean-Claude Van Damme is a spy. He goes into a coma. Everybody thinks he's dead. So it gets put in this place called the Colony, where basically it's a bunch of spies that are believed to be dead. And they trap them in this island that like they live like a life of like opulence up in the island. Like they have like anything you want to eat.
Right.
It's a tropical island, but all they do for a job is they look at surveillance footage, and since they're spies, they're trying to prevent like other terrorist attacks. That's all they do. And he's trying to escape. And I'm like, kind of gives me that vibe, dude. Like where they're doing something secret here with the Romulans. You know what I mean?
Interesting. Okay.
That's the vibe I was getting. Like they're doing secret
That's
stuff.
a big leap.
I'm just
It's a
saying,
very
dude.
big leap.
Yeah, that is a major leap based off of a vibe.
Yeah, but anyway.
I feel like you just watched Double Team recently, and that's why.
I did.
God damn it.
That's not So
Okay.
you just
But
you just have recency bias. That's all.
but dude, it's a tropical
I just saw
island.
The Incredibles recently, so this whole thing
This could be
reminded
The
me of The
Incredibles,
Incredibles because they're in a jungle.
But here's the
That
thing.
jungle looks very, very, very
Yeah,
similar.
It does.
Because they keep reusing the same freaking vegetation.
I know. So
God.
so he goes and then he goes and he meets this guy named fucking Tupac or Dos Loco
Right.
or whatever. Something Loco.
Right.
And he's like, "Hey, Loco, I'm here to save you guys." And Loco's like, "Oh, he turns out he knows him." And he's like, "Oh, I used to run my hands through your hair when you were a child." And then Worf remembers him. He's like, "Oh, yeah, I remember you, Loco." And he's like, "Yeah, well, I'm here to get you out of here, dude." And he's like, "How many of you are there?" And he's like, "Oh, there's 69 of us." Or how many? Like 70 something, right?
Yeah, it was like a good chunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, "All right, well, let's get out of here." And he's like, "No, let me talk to the elders." And then that's what I've been like, no, we just got to leave, dude. We'll come back and save the others. But no, they go and they get somebody, and then they're like, "Oh, so it turns out you can't leave, and we don't want to leave, so you're fucked."
Yeah.
Right.
And that's how it ends.
Something weird is going on where obviously these people are not in danger and they don't want to leave, and like something
Yeah, like Double
Something
Team,
strange.
kind of like Double Team, like the movie
Yeah.
Double Team.
kind of like that. Yeah. And I guess in part 2, we'll find out why exactly there's this little colony of Klingons, but then the Romulans are kind of also guarding them. I mean, clearly there's some kind of security perimeter set up.
Is there?
Yeah.
Because no one caught him.
Well, that's true. It wasn't very good, but clearly the guy was just like, "Oh, should we double check the perimeter again?" Or-
The lady Worfian lady, she didn't.
Yeah.
She like they called for her, but she wasn't like, "Oh, like in distress." She was like, "No, that's my home. I live here. Chill out.
Yeah, I mean, she felt comfortable enough to just kind of
Go back."
be nude in the jungle and take
What are you
a
talking
mud
about? Was
bath
she
or
nude?
whatever. There,
Yeah,
she was naked.
It was just
Yeah,
necky.
for the
Oh.
time being, or
She was,
until she put the towel on.
skinny dipping or whatever.
But
she was
also, the person she called out to as saying, "Hey, you can't be peeking," it turns out was a Romulan. So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like it seems like they have rapport with the Romulans.
doing. Yeah, no, it seems like they're on good terms,
I guess
or at
that is
least
implied,
working
huh?
together. And yeah, this guy, there's a peeping Tom on the colony, I guess.
Yeah.
and
Well, maybe
he's-
she's
Yeah.
into that. Maybe it's role playing. We don't know that.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe it's
very
consensual.
true. Maybe it is
Yeah.
consensual, and yeah, no, that's definitely could
Maybe
be
it's
a
just
thing.
like that Neil Breen movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes, everything in a Neil Breen movie. Double Down.
Yeah, double down.
That's it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. No.
Starring-
Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
Don't get twisted
Don't-
pair.
Yeah, don't get a twisted pair. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Something's up, and everyone has daddy issues in this episode, and
Oh yeah, there's a whole speech about it where Worf is like simultaneously coming to the conclusion he needs to worry about his dad to Data.
Can't have daddy issues if you don't appear. Take that, Alexander.
Whereas
That's
Data
true.
is just going like, "Worf, what the hell are you talking about?"
Yeah.
yeah, he's like, I'm not trying to find my dad though.
It's like,
so
Then you must find him. It's like, my father's dead.
He's
What are
like,
you
one day
talking
your dad's
about?
here. Next thing you know, he's gone. And he's been part of a war crime.
Yeah. It's odd, but the writing in this episode was really bizarre. I wasn't a huge fan of all of the like very
Imagery?
it was like very flowery and weird and like, well,
What do you mean,
Just-
Laurie?
I don't know. The writing just seemed like very bizarre to me. I
Well, it's
don't know.
Brandon Braga for you. Like, I think Sarah's referring to the line also where it's like Picard is like, well, why are you looking at other cultures? Data, you are a culture of one.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my God, that is the worst line ever. There's so many lines like that in this episode that I'm like, it's so cringy.
And it was Ronald Moore's idea to make the imagery like super like, ooh, like he's got wings and he's flying.
My God.
I thought okay, so like
funny.
I know what's gonna happen, but there's the part of me that's watching it and visually I'm imagining like Power Rangers logic. I'm like, oh, Data is dreaming of wings. He's gonna get a wing upgrade.
Wing upgrade. Hell yeah.
He'll unlock his wing upgrade and it'll come out of his back. And now when they go on away mission,
that's the fucking upgrade. He's like, you've unlocked the next level. You get wings.
That would have been
now.
sick. Data gets wings.
It would be so much
Fucking
better if it was a
awesome.
Dr. Light Mega Man X capsule.
Yeah.
And he's like, so you finally unlocked your dreams, Data.
Yeah. What if it's actually like Nguyen Sung appears to him and he's like, there are 8 capsules you must unlock to unlock the rest of your powers, Data.
And then Armored Armadillo song comes back in. It sounds so good.
Yeah, and then Data eventually gets like a set of armor.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I think I like the fact that they met with a group from DS9 and it wasn't of importance. I love that because I hate when it's like, oh, what a coincidence that you guys are here. And
So
we
you
need to
like
solve
that
this
it's
thing.
incidental.
Holy crap, Lois. It's the crew of DS9.
I like it because that's how life is.
But
I don't like when crossover happens and then you're like, oh, what a coincidence that you guys were here when this fucking thing happened. It's like sometimes it's a mundane day and you just show up and there's nothing going on. You just shoot a laser into a coworker.
Well, I don't think I wanted it to be a coincidence, but I think I would have liked for it to have been a bit more important. Like important doesn't necessarily mean coincidence. Like it could have been like, okay.
Well, also we can't judge until we see part 2.
We haven't seen part 2 yet. We don't know.
Well, okay. Well, it can't be that important. Picard showed up to help deal with water aqueducts. Like it's just water aqueducts.
We still haven't seen the conclusion of that, dude.
Yeah.
Maybe it's really important.
Yeah, oftentimes that's like an innocuous beginning that can turn into something.
But Picard's gone for most of the episode. So it's actually a reason to write him out of the episode and to have it focus more on Worf and eventually a bit of Data because they had to write a B story for Data. And that's,
I do wonder how they marketed this episode because wouldn't you think that at the time of this premiere, it would have been like all hyped up as like a crossover? Because they kind of used to do that sometimes. They still do that to this day.
They must
like shows that have crossovers, but then it would have kind of been a letdown because this crossover is so mundane that
combined with the fact that DS9 was definitely not like the big important thing to cross over with, right? Like when they cross over with Spock, it's like, oh, Spock is like, oh my God.
I do
Spock.
wonder.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's anyone who was watching this at this time, any of our listeners, let us know. Did they do any like heavy advertising like DS9 TNG crossover episode? Tune in, let's see what happens. And then you tune in and it's like, oh,
that's exactly the promo they used. That's exactly, how did you know?
Yeah.
Like the only 90s era like crossover
figured.
promotional stuff that I can remember is like when the Batman Superman adventures were starting up and they were promoting like the world's finest.
Right. But then that was a show that was built in. Yeah, they built in that show.
Right,
it wasn't just like a few episodes. It was like actually a season.
But they did at least promote like the beginning of it with like, hey, like Batman and Superman are gonna cross over. You know, like get psyched.
Yeah. And,
they're currently doing It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia crossover with Abbott Elementary.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
interesting.
that's happening. True.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, it's very common even up until this day. So I guess I'm curious.
Well,
I'm
crossovers
also
and multiverses and mashups and became like the main thing to do. Like it's more common now than ever.
Yeah, and I guess I'm just curious. Also, it happened so soon. Like DS9 just started, so they've wasted no time having Q crossover. Now this crossover episode, it seems like they're very...
Yeah, they're not even halfway through a season of DS9 and they're
No.
already like,
And they've done so
dipping
much.
into TNG here and there.
Yeah, it's interesting. I guess I would have liked to see what it was like at the time it was happening, but that's impossible.
Did you like that everything was disconnected from the DS9 hookup to the dreaming storyline to Worf's thing? It was basically like 3 completely unrelated like plot elements.
You're right about that.
You're all right with that? All right.
It was fine.
I'm totally okay with that. I like that it just has nothing to do with importance. It's just fucking mundane bullshit.
Like,
I don't like that at all.
I'm okay with it, but I'm also very unimpressed.
Yeah, I
agree.
It's very sitcom-y. It's very like,
Yeah.
well, we
Yeah,
got time to
whatever.
kill.
I'm still going to give it a 7.
Okay. 7's fine. Yeah, I think I would give it like a 7 as well. I think
I'm around there too.
yeah. I mean, the thing is, the story of importance really is actually Data's part, the B story, because that actually starts and is resolved, and it's fine. It's like kind of like how Chain of Command started, and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna go on this important mission," and it's like a bunch of stuff happens, but they don't get to the actual part till the next episode.
It's very similarly structured in that way.
Yeah, it's like Worf then goes on this journey, this commando journey to go to.
Yeah, dude.
But nothing happens.
Part 2. You know what I wish? I wish Data would have had. Okay, let me tell you. Let me pitch you my idea for that storyline. He starts dreaming, but he has 3 dreams, dude.
Like different types of dreams.
One is about parental love, right?
Mm-hmm.
One is about lost love, and one's a wet dream, dude. You know?
Yeah, keep it realistic. I mean,
what if?
Actually,
what if he had like?
He's gonna start to have wet dreams.
Yeah, what if one of his dreams was about Tasha? And like it's the first person.
That's what I'm talking about, dude.
It's the person he lost his virginity to, so it might have been like.
And
it would have been appropriate to bring her up.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. And bring Denise Crosby back for whatever occasion. Keep her coming back. I'm surprised
if you know what I mean.
I'm surprised at this point, like Denise isn't like someone who like visits Data in his mind sometimes, be like,
I mean,
Data,
that's part of the human experience,
Fight Club.
the wet dream part. So I guess, he's gonna have to experience that.
Yeah.
How often does he access Lol's memories?
Oh, that's weird too, right? So what if part of it, let's continue the continuity.
That's a lost love. So it's like a parental love, a father-daughter love, and then a lover love. A lover.
Yeah.
There's a lot that he could dream about if he wanted to.
Yeah, what if he dreamed that Lol
she-
was back and he wakes up and he like for a split second knows what sadness feels like? That might be really cool.
Well, then he's dead.
Yeah, then he'll die. Yeah.
We all know what happened to Lol after she started feeling things.
Well, what's Sarah's score? Sarah did not give a score.
I'm gonna agree with you and go with the 7.
Oh, all 7s.
Yeah.
You know what's the
All right.
crazy
7s.
part?
That feels right to me.
The crazy part is our
Shut up. 7?
Our members' Discord also chose 7.
No
Damn.
way.
Hey, wow,
Nice.
what a perfectly 7 episode. This is the most 7 out of 10 episode that's ever been.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's because like the exciting part is like set up and you're like it literally ends on a freeze frame and you're like, ugh.
Oh God.
The freeze frame to be continued kind of jarred me for a bit. It's like, oh man, they were still doing that.
Yeah.
Damn.
So
That's still
well,
a
Star
thing.
Trek had never done it before actually, so it's the first.
Well, I mean, like it was an era when it was acceptable to do so.
Right.
Marvin, did you before you gave your score, did you see that they had given it a 7?
No, I'm intentionally
Discord?
trying not to look at the
Okay.
scores before. Yeah. So and to the point where I put it in a separate channel and I don't look at it. So yeah, it's a 7. 7's across the board.
A very
Birthright.
7 episode. Wow.
Birthright Part 1. But we all disagreed on different aspects of it, I guess, because I wish this was just one episode. I wish they did not do this Data B story and they just
I
kept it all
think
one
your
episode.
knowledge of what comes later is affecting your opinion of this episode.
Maybe I just don't see the value in the Data storyline that much, to be honest. And I thought it's kind of like I think
like,
also splitting it up made the whole him interrogating Shrek, forcing Shrek to take him, getting to the planet, all that's super stretched out as a result. Kind of the same way it was in Chain of Command,
Mhm.
whereas like you could have put all the good stuff all into one episode, in my opinion, and made it nice and tight.
Well,
Like a
my
nice,
point
tight
being that
episode.
like you have an idea that what's to come is the good stuff.
I guess so. Yeah, but I think you can also tell even from this episode that like nothing happened yet. So, like everything that did happen could have been quickly compressed into like 15 minutes in my opinion. So,
But at least for right now, I at least am not expecting the next episode to suck totally hard.
okay.
Well, we have a big question mark about the whole Romulan prison camp.
Yeah, we don't know what's going on.
situation
Yeah.
and the prisoners who are not really prisoners, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Like
Was-
something's weird. And is his dad there? It seems like this guy lied and his dad's not there at all. So
Yeah,
Like I
don't
can't
know.
stop thinking about
Mm.
Alexander throughout this entire thing. And
Oh, right, yeah,
the
yeah.
whole thing.
Hamilton?
you think about
Yeah, yeah,
Alexander more than Worf thinks about Alexander.
But we
Yeah,
all
It's,
do.
it's true.
Everybody does.
Yeah.
It's just like
Alexander
every time he starts to
Hamilton.
pontificate and wax poetic about being a father or fatherhood.
He should never
know,
be
and-
able to talk
Yeah.
about fathers.
Yeah, like he really shouldn't speak about
Yeah.
any of that stuff until he remembers where Alexander
He's
is.
like, let me not speak on this. I can't.
Yeah, what if Data responded by being like, "Oh, much like the way Alexander feels about you."
What's funny is Deanna's even given up. All her questions were about like, well, what about your father? Like nothing about like
Yeah.
Alexander would like to meet his grandpa, maybe.
Yeah. It feels like Deanna finally was just like, he's just never gonna do it. So
Yeah, she's given up on
let's just stop
Alexander.
pushing the point. It's like a therapist that has like realized this is a pure block for a patient and been like, he's just never gonna do it. It's not worth. He's never gonna
Yeah.
quit smoking. He's never
I'll
gonna
drop,
be a
I'll
father.
drop the subject for now. We'll work on this when you're ready.
Yeah.
if you're ever ready.
Yeah.
Worf.
When you get there.
But yeah, Birthright Part 1. More to come in Birthright Part 2. But it'll be a hot minute when that comes because we're going to take a little break. Just a week because Sarah is traveling somewhere. So yeah.
I am
that's
very
gonna-
curious about this mystery about what's become of the Romulan/Klingon prison planet because
dude.
what
The
I thought was
colony?
interesting, what I thought was most interesting was that the guy that Worf interrogated was corroborating every piece of information he had at first.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like everything you were told is correct. Like
Yeah.
he did die.
Yeah.
Like, he's not here. And, we were captured and taken prisoner.
Mhm.
All that's correct. Also, shut up.
And so it turned out Shrek lied to him.
Yeah, it was Shrek who was the liar.
Yeah. Well, Shrek wanted to get him out of his swamp, dude.
And I was kind of curious, like, who the hell is this Shrek guy? And I guess we'll never know because of the injury thing.
Yeah,
But
that's literally what it is. Yeah.
yeah, because
Unfortunately.
it's like he just shows up out of nowhere. He just like spots Worf in the promenade.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit, like
Yeah.
that Klingon Starfleet guy. I have information to sell him. That's just a weird like contrivance
was
at this
definitely
point from
weird.
my from where I'm sitting because I don't know what Babe Guy's deal is.
In hindsight, that could be also why the episode feels a lot thinner on the A plot to me, is because it might have been taken up a lot by Shrek and
Mm.
interactions with Shrek and like knowing more about his backstory and whatnot. But also, I thought on the planet it was interesting that like the Klingons seem to all still be observing their like rituals, and the Romulans seem to like be protecting them.
Right.
Like the Romulans were like, we should check the perimeter again, blah, blah, blah. And then also like checked in on her to make sure she was okay and all this
Yeah,
stuff.
I don't know. Something weird's going on. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know.
It's
right?
odd. So
Like,
this
it's
is an
very odd.
It's an odd setup going on here. But all right. Well, everybody, thanks for listening to our
Maybe it's
discussion.
a nudist colony and they like to just
But-
take mud baths together.
So for Klingons, it's dishonorable to be nudists. And for Romulans, they're too embarrassed to admit they're nudists. So the nudists from both cultures combined
Mhm.
into one camp where they're allowed to all be nude if they want
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, like for right now, it is also interesting to me that they both seem very separate
Yeah.
separate as races still. Like the Romulans are only wearing Romulan attire,
Right.
And Klingons are wearing something different. So
Yeah.
it's like even though they apparently have learned to live in harmony, they have not fully integrated.
Yeah, it's
But then what's with
unclear.
all the security and the perimeters and the who are we trying to keep out or in? Question mark.
Yeah.
These are interesting
unclear.
questions that we'll see, get some answers to later.
Yeah, it's
And
another
then the
mystery.
episode title, Birthright?
I think that's more of like the father idea.
Yeah, we'll find out next week. Let's not question it right now.
But I think that's like but I think that's just because they're talking about fathers.
Don't spoil it for us, Marvin.
You know, no, I'm not. No, they talked about fathers
Marvin,
this episode.
You've said too much, dude.
I almost said anything about your mom.
She's dead, dude. She can't say anything.
I'm not a father,
Who's the father, son?
I'm not a father.
But you are a son of a gun.
You got me. Got me. Got me.
But yeah, if you guys have liked
4 sevens. 4 sevens.
5 sevens.
3 flowers.
Yeah. 3 flowers in the hair. 4 sevens. 3 flowers in the hair. 4 sevens in the streets.
If you guys liked what we did, you can check give us a like or review, a rating wherever you are. That'd be cool.
Please
check it out.
It'd be nice. And check out our merch store at fugitiveframes.store. Any day now, I should be getting that hoodie sample, and if it works out, hey, we'll have a new item up on the store. I was just wondering
about that.
Yeah, it's just it should be coming.
It's getting chilly outside.
It's getting chilly.
Now.
It'd be nice to actually have that hoodie.
Yeah, it's getting
and also
cold.
And also, if you guys want to gain early access to new episodes, you can always join our channel, become a channel member of our YouTube channel of Newbie Star Trek. Like I said, early access to new episodes. But also, those episodes are YouTube ad-free, and it also gives you access to our members-only Discord, where we got a bunch of stuff going on right now.
Hi, Discord members.
Yeah, we actually
shout out to you guys. Love you guys.
I've opened up a few more sections. There's a few more things to talk about, and working on some other perks. Other perks are coming in the meantime, but they're cooking.
One of my favorite channels I'll advertise is our pets channel, where we get to share really cute photos of animals and pets and share stories. And who doesn't love looking at cute animals to brighten your day? So.
But also
in a non-doxy manner.
If you guys would ever like to send us an email, you can always email us at contact@newbiestartrek.com. That's contact@newbiestartrek.com. And you can send an email like Amy did this week with the subject line titled, "You're pissing me off again. Do it again."
Okay.
So
if that's what you're into.
I don't know if I wanna.
So it says, "Hey newbies, I want to preface this by saying I've never listened to a podcast before in my life. I came across a few of your Instagram reels.
That's hard to find these days, to be honest.
I came across a few of your Instagram reels just as I was finishing my 3rd TNG rewatch, so I decided to give you a listen. As of today, I've binged your first 4 seasons in just over 2 months. Damn. At first, I was pretty much hate listening. I was aggravated by your constant mispronunciations, bizarre plot interpretations, and your insistence on inserting sexual innuendos into every single little thing. Now I feel like being aggravated is half the fun. I've grown to enjoy shouting corrections at my phone and rolling my eyes at your ridiculous tangents. One conversation in particular was especially interesting to me, and it made me want to ask you a question. You were saying that you found it surprising that conservatives would be interested in watching Star Trek since it has decidedly liberal undertones. Being fairly conservative myself, I thought that was odd. I find the ideas presented in Star Trek interesting to think about, whether or not I end up agreeing with them. I rarely walk in lockstep with other conservatives and often find myself reevaluating my own opinions. I love that Star Trek challenges me to do that sometimes. My question for you is, if Star Trek was written from a conservative perspective, would you still want to watch it? Would that make it impossible for you to enjoy the show? I'm sorry this is so long, but I want to close by thanking you for giving me a new perspective on a franchise that has meant a great deal to me over the years. I'm especially excited that you're starting DS9, which is my favorite series by far. This will be my 4th time watching it, and I'm happy that you'll be watching it with me. Thanks for a great time, Amy." So,
thank you, Amy.
Wow,
that's very sweet.
Thank you, Amy. You have such an interesting perspective.
What do you mean perspective?
Well, that she started off hate listening, and
also that she's never listened to a podcast before us,
and then fell in love with us.
I still haven't fallen in love with myself. I think that at least for me, I'm going to take it first because I also forget my train of thought. Is that I'd like to think that I separate the artist from the art. Like.
You do. I think you do. Yeah.
Which I don't agree with at all.
Yeah, I don't agree. Me and Marvin definitely don't agree, but we know you do.
I like to separate the artist from because then I think that's when you find the common stuff. I mean, I feel like when I don't do that, I feel like I learn more about the other side, if that's a thing. when you're like, oh fuck it, just watch this stupid thing, and then you're like, oh, I never saw that perspective. I don't agree with it completely, but I see. At the end of the day, you see like common ground. You're like, oh, okay, I could see like if you just boil it down to like basic, what are they trying to say, and what am I trying to say, and how am I trying to live? It kind of, there's common ground, and that's how I think that's how we should live in the world too. Like I don't want somebody, like when somebody says, oh, I wouldn't vote for that politician because they believe this and now they believe that. It's like, no, I want people to change. I want people to evolve. That's my biggest problem with the religion, is that like the margin for evolution is very, very, very thin to non-existent, basically.
Right.
Like, that like I would,
although it does happen.
I know it happens, but me as an atheist, I feel like some of my core beliefs really fall under more if you really look down on some of my core beliefs, you'd be hard pressed to be like, oh, this guy's kind of a conservative. Literally, just because some of the things I believe are like stupid things that you would read in the Bible, seriously. But I don't see them that way, and I think there's no God and there's no one watching us, and yeah, I could go on and on.
No person in the sky.
Yeah, there's an absentee landlord.
Sky daddy.
Yeah. But no, I think that I would still watch it if it had something that I liked. No?
Yeah, I mean, I personally am of the belief that there is a lot of media I have enjoyed that does have a conservative leaning, but I like it because it's well made and it's a good movie otherwise. So there's 3 examples that comes to mind to me. 2 of them are superhero movies, because Iron Man's super conservative.
Totally.
Iron Man is like super pro-military. Iron Man is super America first. Iron Man's about exceptionalism of a single person type of thing. In fact,
I was going to bring up Iron Man. Because when he has a dream, he sees somebody hammering, and I'm like, oh my god, he was fucking Tony Stark. He brings this up.
Yeah, and it's it's almost like an objectivism point of view, Iron Man, right?
Yeah.
And I think what's interesting is that Iron Man as a character does start out that way, and the movie supports that. And it's about a bit more how he evolves out of that eventually, as the MCU has gone on. Another one is Incredibles. Incredibles is actually kind of a conservative movie. It's about exceptionalism of certain individuals and how that shouldn't be challenged. Like the idea of Syndrome giving everyone superpowers is viewed as super bad, which is like, oh, okay, so no one should be equal. Everyone should just,
Well, I mean, there are arguments that could be made there. It steps into the dicey territory of trying to one-to-one the analogy of like mutants as a marginalized group, because you go into the actual logistics of this person can kill everyone if you don't if he has a bad day.
Right.
And that's very different from your standard marginalized person.
Yeah. And then the other one I always think of is Ghostbusters. So I like Ghostbusters a lot as a movie, but ultimately Ghostbusters is about how private sector does much better than the public sector when it comes to solving a problem, specifically ghosts.
Yeah.
It's about the government incompetence and how you require 4 kind of idiots to take care of it. And it's fine.
Government incompetence is a bipartisan thing, though.
But that's the thing. I think that's fine. I think, and but it's also very pro building your business. We're going to privatize a public industry, and it's that's fine. It's a part of it works because it's a comedy. So the fact that it's this silly premise of ghost exterminators makes it so that the fact that it's working is part of the funny part of it.
I want to interject just to say that because you gave an example. One of my favorite movies, and I also fall into this, that I struggle when somebody does something horribly bad, then I struggle with like Woody Allen. I understand that he made some good movies, and I like Woody Allen movies, but I understand there's a lot of trouble with the artist. So in that case, I could make the argument that okay, I could I'm still trying to figure that out myself. You know what I mean?
Right.
But one of my favorite movies, like top 10 of all time since I was a kid, and I constantly rewatch it. It's Red Dawn, the original Red Dawn, and it's really right wing.
Oh yeah.
But I still love it. I've been watching it for a good 20 years, and I still fucking love that movie. Like the first time I saw it, and that's really right wing.
Yeah, and it's.
I feel like this whole conversation is a little like before you even begin having it, you kind of have to decide for yourself what conservative means.
So yeah, I mean,
because for me, part, I'm having trouble just locking down in my head like what they're asking by asking.
Yeah,
that.
like is it politically or is it like religiously, right?
So that kind of goes into my answer to this question, which is like when you use the words conservative and liberal and just forward moving in time, like those words and the meaning of those words change, and what is considered, there's different varying degrees of conservative and liberal and progressive and all of those and what those people believe.
It also depends on where you live
and time, right? Like literally Lincoln was a Republican.
Yeah.
Well, that meant something else back then.
Yeah, but that evolves. That's what we're saying is that like even that evolved.
When someone says like more conservative ideas, I agree with Dan, and I think all of us can agree. Like, what does it actually mean? I think when I watch Star Trek, I think about like if you boil down to like progressive, liberals, conservative, if you like boil all that down, you get down to like what do people want and like populist ideas. And like to me, I think when I see something like Star Trek, I think there are universal themes that liberals, conservatives, progressives, maybe even ultra-right wings can maybe come together on, which is like something like technology about a replicator, where like food and disease and healthcare and income are all things of the past. These are all things that across party lines are very populist ideas that appeal to the everyday person, that I think, which is why I think Star Trek is appealing to a mass audience, because I think there are themes that you would be hard pressed to find a conservative or liberal person that would disagree with them. Like, do we all want world hunger?
Yeah, like never mind how we got there. It's a utopia.
Do we all want hunger to end? Yeah, it would be great. Do we all not want to worry about not income and money and health and income inequality and health, varying degrees of health access and all of that kind of stuff? Like, yeah, I would love to not worry about that. I think any conservative person or liberal person would love to put that behind them. And so I think that's why the show is appealing. So when you say like, would we like it if it was more conservative? I'm like trying to think, I'm like, what does that even like mean? So it's, I guess to answer the question fully, I'd have to know exactly like what conservative viewpoints are you talking? Like, oh, if we had, I don't know, like bathrooms where like I don't know.
Can you also repeat the question, Marvin? Like, was it if it was more conservative? If it was made by
if Star Trek were written from a more conservative perspective, would you still watch it?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which I think we're all kind of stuck on. Like, well, what would be a more conservative perspective? I don't know in this definition.
And then that brings me to the initial gut reaction of like, well, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's one example of at least science fiction that's conservative, and even of the era would be like Heinlein and Starship Troopers, or before it became the movie, that turned it into a big parody of what the original source material was. But the original Starship Troopers is about the idea that like there is exceptionalism by being a member of the military. Like, you're not considered a citizen until you have done a tour of duty with the military, and otherwise you're just a civilian. And there are people who are better than others because of the things they've accomplished. There's exceptionalism. So like, and that's,
I mean, is that really a conservative belief?
Yeah. I would to claim that you are more of a valuable citizen than another based on something. Yeah.
I guess I'm more thinking that maybe a more conservative belief is the belief in war at all and using military.
Well, that's the other
force.
thing. Yeah, like it was,
but not necessarily an exceptionalism and a setting of side apart. I mean, that's where I'm kind of a little lost. But I guess modern day conservative viewpoints, I feel like is a more moral support of the military and our defense systems and budgets and stuff, where like maybe a more liberal viewpoint is divesting from the military and I'm pulling back on that a little bit more.
Well, see, that's where you can get tricky because there are so if you're going super left, like there are people who think, oh no, everyone should have nukes. And there's a far left point of view that thinks that. Who thinks
I'm on that side?
Like who think MAD is a thing and should exist?
The monkeys should have the nukes as well.
Yeah, I've told you guys, your monkey fucking gun, dude. Well, like Ender's Game is like
Ender's Game, great. That's a great one too. Yes, I forgot about that. So yeah, like,
but I like Ender's Game. I like the book. I've read a bunch of the sequels, and I that's clearly made by conservative, but
an abject piece of shit at this point that we discovered.
But I still enjoy the book. In fact, I read the book after the whole controversy. I didn't read it as a kid or anything. I read it as an adult, and I was like, oh, I like this book. It's fine, even though the author is a piece of shit. I enjoy the book. Yeah,
so that's the other thing is that like I think for me. It's complicated because if you have a good enough grasp of media literacy, like almost what's in the thing shouldn't be that loaded in terms of political beliefs, but we live in a world where people who watch Starship Troopers, the movie by Paul Verhoeven, thought it was a movie glorifying space violence. And then Paul Verhoeven on his own commentary track had to yell at everyone. They are literally Nazis. Look at them.
Yeah.
They are evil. The humans are evil.
Or like RoboCop. Like RoboCop is also a satire of that.
Yeah, and people were like, "Oh, RoboCop's so fucking sick. What a sick ass robot cop." And it's like, no, this is about the police being out of control.
Like a militant type police.
Yeah, it's like what if you had
poison marketing didn't help?
Yeah. Oh, like Rambo too. I love Rambo.
Yeah, Rambo was originally about like the horrors of PTSD from coming back from Vietnam.
Yeah,
and eventually came back to be like, look how badass these guys are.
Yeah.
Poison marketing didn't help.
That sweet fucking Rambo cartoon.
Yeah, it went from a pretty like almost tender, like very sensitive point of view towards military vets to let's glorify them to be superheroes. Like and in the same vein, one of our favorite movies of all time, Commando.
Hell yeah, dude.
Does the same thing, but it does it from the get-go, just from the beginning. He's just a superhero.
Yeah, dude. His name is John Matrix, dude. You don't name a character John Matrix if he's not badass, dude.
Yeah. So, I think it depends on what sort of media literacy you can trust your audience to have, combined with who's making it and what is the movie being made in good faith. Like when Ivan Reitman was making Ghostbusters, he wasn't trying to like tell everyone, hey, fuck the government.
Yeah.
It was just more of like, oh, I wanted to make a funny ghost movie. Yeah. And with my friends, what's his name? The guy who plays Venkman.
Bill Murray.
Yeah. Well, no,
Homer
not
Simpsons.
Bill Murray. No, sorry, not Venkman.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Egon and Harold Ramis. Like, yeah, Harold. They have fun ideas for a script. So let's all just collaborate and make a thing.
But like, you also have to define like what do these words mean? Like conservative, liberal, progressive.
Look at like Batman. Batman is like a conservative wet dream, dude. Right?
Oh yeah.
But I still love Batman.
Yeah.
But the truth is, like, Bruce Wayne could solve all the problems if he just put money into like it's helping. Like,
that's another conservative series I was going to bring up, but I forgot. As Nolan's Batman movies are hyper like, this exceptional man can solve all of society's problems because society must need this guy to solve their problems for them. And it's and the way he solves it is by beating people up in the street. Not through like systemic. In fact, the Batman Begins explicitly shows an example of his family attempting to solve the city's problems through systemic change and getting killed for it. So he's basically telling us that doesn't work. You need Batman.
Well, that's what I like about the Batman, which is. I'm gonna spoil it for you, Marvin, but I think you should watch it before we do the other show. But I do like that. Like at the end, he realizes like, oh fuck, like this isn't right, and I'm not right. Like I'm mentally not right myself, and this method I'm using of vengeance is not right, and I have to use Bruce Wayne to do good. more than I needed to use Batman to do good.
But even the idea of Bruce Wayne being the one to do good,
Yeah, totally.
it plays into the fantasy of, oh, the rich billionaire will save us all, you know? And that's when the problem really is there was a billionaire to begin with.
The problem is the rich billionaire.
You know? So
I remember seeing this really long Twitter thread that envisioned this alternate version of Batman where Joe Chill, or like the person who killed his parents, is actually a crooked cop. And then that kind of spins his entire crusade into going against the corrupt cops and and like the system of like the corruptness of Gotham, and it's him against Gotham. And
that's kind of neat.
And that was a pretty like cool spin on it.
And then like Gordon's one of the few people inside he can trust inside.
That's I mean, that isn't exactly how the Batman is, but I mean, you're kind of describing it. Like basically, Gordon's the only one he could really trust, and at the end, you realize at the end of the Batman, spoiler alert, if you don't want to know about it, forward this. You find out that all the billionaires of Gotham have been the problem.
Oh yeah,
that's true. That's true. Yeah. That is how the beginning of the
Court of Owls is it Court of Owls?
Yeah,
essentially. Okay,
but I mean, I feel like it's going there for part 2, but they make it clear that that's the problem, and like.
Yeah, whereas if you look at like the Nolan version of Batman, it's like, no, we have the good cops and then we have the bad cops.
Yeah.
And then by the time you reach Dark Knight Rises, it's like, no, it turns out every cop is essentially good. They just needed some coaxing to be good. Yeah, and they'll all have a big fist fight in the street.
Yeah. No, in this one, in this one, I like in the Batman
to stop him.
Yeah, and I like in the Batman, like Gordon has to stop them from beating him up. Like it's at odds, and he says it like there's only one guy he could trust, and it's fucking Gordon.
Right. So all that is to say,
that was a really great question, Amy.
Yeah, it's complicated.
Thank you so much for it is complicated. It's complicated.
What I would like to say about it is that my own understanding of political nuance feels insufficient to speak in detail about it. Mm-hmm. But whenever it comes to Star Trek, people pushing back against Star Trek because they happen to notice a progressive value being espoused in it.
Right.
That's when I'm like, oh,
in hindsight,
like, that's when it's like, okay, these are the fans that I personally don't necessarily want to engage with or give much time to, because they're the ones who, you know, are just bristling at the fact that there is a progressive or liberal value to be found at all.
Right.
And then that's not a good conversation to have. So
I would also say that Star Trek, at least I've always said Star Trek is progressive for its time, right?
Yes, and there's that too.
There's a lot of stuff portrayed in older Star Trek now where we'd be like, that's not very progressive at all. Like the way they like treated women, or the way they had certain caricatures of aliens correspond to like human races or cultures. You know, it's a little odd.
Right. To keep it strictly to how people react to Star Trek. Like that's where I stand.
The stance of American exceptionalism in older Star Trek, for sure. You know.
That's definitely a feature.
That's also what I love about the evolution of things, right? Like imagine like 50 years ago, you would go to the doctor and be like, "Oh, I feel sick," and you'd be smoking at the doctor's office,
right?
Mm-hmm. You know, and you as you learn more, you evolve, and that's what I like about art and about life and about everything. I think when you stand still, whether you're liberal or fucking conservative, even if you're, I think I disagree with a lot of liberals too.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Both sides, you know, I hate that there's even two sides, you know.
I find it horrifically aggravating when on one hand, some people will be like, oh man, fuck that billionaire Elon Musk. But then on the other hand, be like, oh, but that billionaire Taylor Swift is cool. And I'm like, they're both billionaires.
Yeah.
Like,
one's so much 100%. More annoying.
Like, it's like, well, she gives all this money. Like, yeah, she's just trying to offset her carbon footprint. Yeah. But she's flying and just burning a fucking whole ozone layer.
I mean, you could say that too. There's the Oprah versus the Elon versus you know, Swifty versus, you know, all of them are, I mean, billionaires in general just should not exist. They're all corrupt.
Yeah. But, you know, and it's,
you know, there is no good side, you know. I think one thing we can all agree on is government in general is just not to be trusted all the time, you know. So,
and I think that's a big conservative thing, which is they're like,
it is. No, it totally is, right? And you know,
That's what I said.
Yeah.
that's why I definitely I wouldn't describe it's hard to describe myself personally politically because there is so many issues
There's
on all
Yeah.
all of it is messed up. We've dug ourselves into quite a hole here, the human race.
I'm like strong bad. I support all the issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think there's a good I'm gonna butcher the quote, and it might be a shitty quote, and that I'm remembering it wrong. But Dennis Leary comes out in Demolition Man, and he has a quote where he's like he's basically like part of the poor that are living in the sewers, right? And he's like, I just want to eat a steak and run around naked, and he just yells out all the things that he wants to do. And I'm like, that's me. It's a little bit conservative. Like, I believe everyone should own a gun. I believe everyone should own a gun if you're part of a well-regulated militia and you've registered and you're licensed to own a gun. But I think everyone should own a gun. I honestly think everyone should own a weapon. Period.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want fucking aliens to come and we're like, oh, we're gonna fucking recite poetry to them. No, it's not gonna fucking work, dude. So everyone should have a gun. Everyone should fucking eat as much fucking fried chicken as they want. Pull up that cholesterol as high as you can.
Yep.
As long as we all have free healthcare.
Yeah, as long as there we go. See, we're well rounded on this podcast.
So long as we have that thing that goes psst on the neck,
and we all have universal income where we can go buy all the steak you want. I guess
it would just like, hey, I want to buy a burrito. I don't have to be like, oh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's I just want what's best for the people. How about that?
Every monkey deserves a gun.
Yeah.
Is that so hard to get behind?
Just be nice to each other. Listen.
And everyone deserves a freebie for every crime that monkey commits with a gun.
Yeah. Dude, for sure.
Double jeopardy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Got to redefine it.
Just like Alex Trebek said, dude.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate you, Amy, for it's hilarious that you started off hate listening, and then we grew on you. So I appreciate that. I wonder how much of our audience is that percentage.
I would like to see a poll of like self-reported, like who amongst like whoever views themselves as a conservative or liberal, if they believe they are better at withstanding hate listening or hate watching something, like who is more likely to do that.
Wow, that is a fascinating question, Dan.
You know what,
that is a good question.
I've hate watched something. I
think it's equal on both sides.
I've hate listened.
That would be
to
my
podcasts.
guess, but I would love to know.
Yeah.
I don't do a lot of hate watching or hate listening. I can't.
I do because I like to break it down and be like, why do I hate this and why is it so intriguing? Why am I still listening?
It makes me too mad. I can't do it. I can't keep myself there to do it. So
the same reason I love watching shitty movies. I learn more from watching a shitty movie as a writer, as whatever thing I'm trying to study from it. I learn more from a shitty movie than I do a good movie.
I got to work on it. I mean, I want to get to that point because there's value, I'm sure, somewhere deep in there. But yeah, I have such a low tolerance. I don't consume a lot of media and things, and so I'm very picky about what I choose to watch or spend my time watching or listening to because I don't do it a lot. So
she's too busy getting her Erewhon fucking shakes.
Yeah, I'm too busy getting my Erewhon shakes and my,
I don't even know what those are.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm confused.
Really? You don't? Oh my God, you guys.
Oh, Sarah got it. Sarah got the joke.
Yeah, I sure did. And you're right. I am.
Do you really like Erewhon?
No, I've actually never stepped foot into an Erewhon, so I have no idea. But I do know of their very expensive shakes, and I could never bring myself.
It's funny because you'll be like, I'm very picky, and you'll just binge watch Love Is Blind and
oh my God,
yeah. And guess what? On Love Is Blind, the currency that was picked exactly, Dan. And on Love Is Blind, there is they actually in the current season they talk about politics a lot, which is something that they stayed away from in past seasons. And you do.
Oh, you mean like
You
like
do
the,
hear-
the couples are talking about it?
Yeah,
Like
they're like,
oh, nice.
there's Trump supporters. There's people who actually talk about like, hey, I'm a Trump supporter. And the other person's like, whoa, like it gets discussed very directly. And
Nice.
I never thought that they would do that. And so I'm it's interesting to see how, because you have this like Love is Blind, right? And you have like on one side of the wall is like a Black woman or like a POC or an immigrant of some kind. And then on the other side is like this white, super white guy who's a Trump supporter. And then they like fall in love, but they're blind.
There you
Love
go.
is
You're
blind,
watching.
you know?
You're watching media with conservative
Yeah.
viewpoints.
Exactly. So you
There
kind
you
of
go.
see how this unfolds. You're like, oh, that's interesting. And how does
My-
that going to work? And
My guilty pleasure is
Yeah.
just I started watching because I knew somebody who works on it, and then I couldn't stop watching it. Is The Secret Lives of Mormon Housewives.
Oh.
oh, yeah.
I did like 2 days, and I was like, I'm done. I watched everything to do.
yeah.
I want to get one of those sodies that they fucking drink.
Like,
dude.
are they actually secret, or is it just that they finally followed them around with the camera?
They finally followed them around the camera, dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Well,
Fruity Pebbles is my favorite. Whoever's watches the show will get that. Yeah. Anyway, thank you for the email, and Mailbag,
Yeah.
go smite your enemies.
Yeah, thanks, Amy, for the email. And everybody, thanks for listening or watching
Yeah.
wherever you are. If you want to check out other stuff you can just head on over to fugitiveframes.com. We have links to everything, including would you stay tuned? Hopefully, by the time this episode has come out, our discussion of Interview with the Vampire, the AMC series, will have come out. Strictly speaking, we only talked about the first episode, but it's a heck of a first episode. So
yeah.
we talked about it for quite a bit.
Have you guys
but-
finally watched the second season?
No, we
Not
haven't watched
yet.
it.
Not
Damn
yet.
it, dude.
Sarah would
Not
rather
yet.
watch more Love Island than
Oh
no,
my God, dude.
Love is Blind.
whatever.
I want to say this.
Get
I
the
think
correct terminology.
I think when a show or a movie is really good, like people
Spelling's surprisingly close.
people always get like upset that they're like, oh, why did they replace this actor? Like, why did they replace Don Cheadle? It's like, if it's a good actor, if it's a good piece of writing, you're not even gonna fucking notice
Yeah.
the difference. Why did they replace Maggie Gyllenhaal in Dark Knight Part 2? Doesn't fucking matter. They replaced one of the cast members in season 2, and it just fucking flows.
That's like Black
great.
Sails when they
Interesting.
replaced that guy.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice.
Well, he had cancer.
No, I know. I know.
Yeah,
It was really sad. I know. I'm just
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
I know he passed away. And
Yeah,
those people who
unfortunately,
watch
yeah.
Black Sails will understand. But
Yeah.
I love Black Sails. Great show. Great show.
Well, all right. Well, next time you see us, obviously, we're going to do Birthright Part 2. It's actually going to be the first time in a while where we had 2 TNG episodes in a row. So
Woohoo.
that'll be interesting. But yeah, until then, stay safe, everybody. We're going to see you guys next time.
Catch
Goodbye.
you next time.
To
Take care,
be
everyone.
continued.
Bye.